This week on Ebert and Roeper, Gene Hackman, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Ben Stiller redefine dysfunctional in The Royal Tenenbaums.
Also, Julia Stiles and Stockard Channing get down to the business of strangers.
And George Clooney and Julia Roberts had an all-star cast in Ocean's 11.
Hello, Tess.
What are you doing here?
I'm out
You're out.
of prison.
George Clooney goes after $150 million in casino money, and ex-wife Julia Roberts, not necessarily in that order, in Ocean's 11, one of 5 movies we'll review this week. I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. The original Ocean's 11 is more notable for the off-camera antics of the Rat Pack than the actual movie, a campy romp about a band of crooks who try to rob 5 Vegas casinos on New Year's Eve. For the sleek and icy cool 2001 version, George Clooney takes over the Frank Sinatra role of the title character with a People magazine cover cast that includes Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Julia Roberts as the girl.
Still don't know if we can use her yet. Actually, I haven't even caught her name. Tess. Huh? Her name is Tess.
Tess is now with the owner of the casino, played by Andy Garcia. Ocean wants to rob the casino's vault and win back Tess.
Why do this? Because yesterday I walked out of the joint after losing 4 years of my life. Because the house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.
The cocky dialogue keeps things humming until we get to the caper itself, which is great fun.
10 cents, he's yours.
No bet.
Try him again.
Ocean's 11 was directed by the gifted Steven Soderbergh, taking a breather from the heavier subject matter of last year's Traffic and Aaron Brockovich. But Soderbergh isn't taking a day off here at all. He's just hitting a home run to the opposite field. This is a triumph of style and story with more than a dozen characters gliding about in a high-speed chess game. Everyone is really good, though I really could have done without Don Cheadle's unnecessary Cockney accent, but it's Clooney who really carries this film on his tuxedoed shoulders. He's a real movie star who fills the screen with effortless charm. Ocean's 11 is sly and smooth.
That it is, and you know, the dialogue is just great.
Yeah.
When Clooney and Roberts are having that exchange, and then also a little bit later when Clooney and Andy Garcia get into it.
Yeah.
And at the end, when they just exchange each other's first names, and you realize they just hate each other. The dialogue is just exactly right on the
Everybody
correct
has a
note.
good
Yeah.
scene. Matt Damon has a good scene in Chicago where he's a pickpocket and Clooney's recruiting him.
Yeah.
Everybody has their moment.
Uh-huh.
And you know, it's amazing, this film, that they actually got the Bellagio, this huge hotel and casino in Vegas, to be named, and obviously they
And also
filmed
the
a lot
Mirage,
of it
they
there.
mentioned the Mirage.
But that helps a lot. Instead of calling it, you know, the Lucky Seven
Yeah,
Casino and kind of lurking about, they had obviously had the
But, you know,
cooperation
what's the
of these
philosophy there?
casinos.
Because it used to be casinos didn't want to be associated
Yeah.
with a movie about, you know, all of their money being stolen, and now you get big shots. Julia Roberts runs the art gallery. I guess
Yeah.
maybe.
And there
that's-
really is
that's
an art
probably
gallery in the Bellagio.
That's probably the product placement.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's well done, and the casino owners are smart enough to know that moviegoers are smart enough to know that this isn't the real Bellagio in terms of where the money is and everything. But that really helps the film. It looks great, the acting is great, and
Yes, it is.
Soderbergh,
It's a lot
I
of
just
fun.
keep hope he makes 2 or 3 movies a year. You know?
Well, but you know, Soderbergh has to get back to doing really important stuff now. He can't make these movies all the time.
Well, he can do one mainstream one and then one artsy film, and we'll be happy
Okay,
with it
you
every
can
year.
be his agent.
Okay.
Our next movie is Lantana, a powerful drama that starts out like a thriller and then circles back to reveal touching and wounding truths about its characters. With its use of coincidence and interconnected stories, it's like an Australian version of Shortcuts or Magnolia. One of the strands stars Anthony LaPaglia as a cop who has just cheated for the first time on his wife, played by Carrie Armstrong. They fight about their son with other truths lurking just under the surface.
Look like you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I am.
That's good. You're having a good time while my son's at home smoking pot.
Leon, I know. I was the one that told him if he's going to do it, he should do it at home where at least we can control it.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because you haven't been around much lately.
Another strand is also about a marriage in crisis. Barbara Hershey is a psychiatrist married to Jeffrey Rush as a law school dean. Their daughter was murdered, and she has written a book about it.
I hate what's happening to us. I hate it. We don't talk anymore.
We lost our daughter.
I could have brought us closer.
Hershey disappears midway through the movie, and LaPaglia is assigned to the case. He has a touchy encounter with her husband.
just don't understand why she'd get into a car with a stranger.
Well, maybe she didn't. Maybe she knew him. How's your marriage been lately, John?
It's fine. How's yours?
Up and down. Where were you Friday night?
There are other connections, too, which I won't reveal. You can complain about the coincidences. I guess you can just acknowledge that's the way director Ray Lawrence and writer Andrew Bovell have chosen to tell their story. I appreciated the way the characters in their lives touch in unexpected ways, and also the way Lantana avoids placing blame. Everyone in this movie is a little guilty of something, but they're all seeking the same things, to be better and to be less lonely. The wonderful cast includes Rachel Blake as a woman who reports a murder suspect and then finds that the cop assigned to the case is her lover and that the suspect knows it.
Yeah, it's a terrific piece of work. Carrie Armstrong as LaPaglia's wife is my favorite in this standout cast. You know, Anthony LaPaglia is Australian. He's been so good at playing New York tough guys in so many movies that some people probably think he's doing an Australian accent here. But I liked your reference, too, to Shortcuts, because this reminded me a lot of Robert Altman's his modern films that have these interconnecting stories where people are always kind of looking outside their own relationship, thinking the people over there are somehow happier, and I want to connect with them, and there's a lot of that yearning going on here.
I like the way this starts out to be a police procedural. You know, it apparently is about a murder, and apparently there's going to be a police investigation, and apparently there are suspects. And we even think we have a guilty party.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, without giving anything away, or maybe I have given something away, to be about a lot more than that.
A lot more than that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting, too, that the kind of lower middle class couple probably have the healthiest relationship in this film, even though you'd think they might have the most problems with their kids running around, and obviously they're struggling to make ends meet, but they're actually secure in their relationship, unlike everybody else in the movie.
It's strange when you get a movie that looks like it's a murder mystery, turns out to be about marriages.
And is good about all of those things and really solid.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, coming up later in the show, childhood genius turns into adult dysfunction in the Royal Tenenbaums.
I've got 6 weeks to set things right.
And coming up next, Stockard Channing and Julia Stiles struggle for power in the business of strangers.
Both end up in jail. I lost my temper. Don't worry, you're not fired. I'll call Terry in the morning.
I don't really care. It's just a money job.
Stockard Channing looks down the corporate ladder and sees a young version of herself in Julia Stiles in the business of strangers. This is a provocative character study from director and screenwriter Patrick Stetner, taking place almost entirely in the antiseptic, disorienting business world of airport waiting areas, corporate meeting rooms, hotel suites, and lobby lounges. Channing's character thinks she's about to lose her job, so she arranges a meeting with a headhunter played by Frederick Weller.
So I asked you here.
I'm here.
Yes, but then I started to think, who's to say you're not finding my replacement?
I wouldn't have come here if I were...
Oh, please, Nick. I know how you got me my job.
Turns out Channing's actually getting promoted to CEO. She celebrates, if you will, by getting trashed with the younger woman who poisons her with a harrowing story about the slick young headhunter, setting up an awkward moment when he shows up again later that night.
It's only 12 o'clock. Come down for one more.
It's late.
Come on.
No.
Okay.
Don't be such a spoil sport. Let's have some fun. She's got a stocked barn here, you know.
Clocking in at a brisk 83 minutes, the business of strangers is lean, intense, and unsparing. It could also be construed as a male-bashing film, given what Channing and Stiles do to that oily headhunter, but the film is even rougher on the female leads, two bright and attractive women who are absolutely drowning in desperation and isolation. Maybe that's why they cling to each other in the night. They've really got nobody else. Categorize this as a small film, if you will, but I think it packs a big punch.
It does. First of all, Stockard Channing is fabulous in this movie.
Yes.
She is so organized, so brittle, so smart, so aggressive, so right on top of things, and so wrong.
You see women like that, and men like that in airports, on the phone,
you're
conducting
right that
business.
Julia Stiles is actually the junior model.
Yeah.
The one thing, now, I understand what the whole movie is about, and I guess I'm glad that it's about what it's about.
Okay.
But I was so fascinated just by the business world they were moving in that I didn't really need the plot twist. It would have been okay with me if it had just been about aggression and competition and the generations at this level.
Yeah, that's probably even more fascinating than the stuff with the guy, because that kind of goes into certain areas where you're thinking, well, I don't know if that really would have happened or he would have reacted in that way. You start analyzing.
You start asking practical questions, and that's the last thing you want. But still, I certainly recommend it.
And I would agree with you. It's best at really dissecting that corporate world.
Coming up next, the strangest family of the year. Gene Hackman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Danny Glover, and Angelica Houston star in The Royal Tenenbaums.
And looking ahead to next week's openings, we'll review Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz in the psychological thriller Vanilla Sky.
David Ames.
You're following me.
You want to make it up to me?
Can't somebody be a jerk their whole life and try to repair the damage?
You probably don't even know my middle name.
That's a trick question. You don't have one.
Helen.
Gene Hackman plays the patriarch of a gloriously peculiar family in The Royal Tenenbaums, the new film by Wes Anderson, who made Bottle Rocket and Rushmore, and now for the third time teams up with actor Owen Wilson as his writing partner. Hackman and his wife, played by Angelica Houston, raised a family of prodigies, but then he abandoned them. His kids grew up to be a financial genius, a playwright, and a tennis star, but they all peaked early and now have moved back home, and now Hackman also comes knocking.
You don't look so sick, Dad.
Thank you.
What have you got?
I got a pretty bad case of cancer.
Oh, how long are you gonna last?
Not long. A month, a year, about 6 weeks.
Of course, his story is made up and his illness is a fraud, and those were Ben Stiller, Luke Wilson, and Gwyneth Paltrow as his children. The house is filling up. Stiller, a widower, has brought along his 2 kids.
Chaz? What's going on?
We got locked out of our apartment.
Did you call a locksmith?
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't understand. Did you pack your bags before you got locked out, or?
This family is almost perversely weird as when Hackman takes those grandchildren out for life lessons in how to take chances.
It's against the law. It was against the law. What your mama saw. It was against the law. Your mama looked down and spit on the ground every time my name gets mentioned. The papa said, oh, if I get that boy, I'm gonna stick him in the house of detention.
The Royal Tenenbaums is kind of like a John Irving intergenerational story crossed with a British sitcom about terminal eccentrics. I don't think we're supposed to believe in this family in any serious way. They're like P.G. Wodehouse characters who define their own universe and occupy it, oblivious completely to the real world. Hackman is especially good in the matter-of-fact way he lies about just about everything. Paltrow is secretive, which she doesn't need to be. Stiller is angry as a lifestyle. And then there's Owen Wilson as their childhood friend who was turned into a writer of very bad Western novels. The movie takes whimsy and supercharges it.
Yeah, I liked it, and I'm giving it thumbs up. I think it was not quite as good as Bottle Rocket and Rushmore, the previous efforts from these guys. So I was a little bit disappointed because I thought it could have been even meaner and stranger than it was. It kind of occasionally kind of delves into a little sweetness and gives you... I didn't want that. I wanted Hackman's character to stay mean and cruel, well, I mean, and I wanted the weirdness to stay that way. And you know, they had to have...
After he teaches his grandchildren to play in traffic and shoplifts, what else do you want?
I wanted more of that kind of stuff. I like that stuff a lot. There were a couple, a couple too many romantic scenes where people are bearing their souls, and I didn't need that. I do like it.
What I liked is that the movie seemed to be almost perversely indifferent to ordinary expectations about what would happen to this family as every single one of the characters goes off in every direction simultaneously. It's alive. I mean, it surprises you. You have no idea what's going to happen
next. And it's a wonderful cast, and that's another small complaint I have. I wanted to see more of Bill Murray and some of the other characters who are in there. But that's not a bad thing to yearn for more scenes.
You never see more of Bill Murray. That's his specialty, is playing guys you want to see more of.
That's true. I hadn't thought of it that way, but it's true. Okay, our next movie looks at a very different world. It's a stunning farce called No Man's Land, a unique and utterly effective look at the tragic folly of war. It's set in Bosnia in 1993, but it could be about almost any modern conflict, from Somalia to the Persian Gulf to Afghanistan. The no man's land in question is a limbo-like trench where a Bosnian soldier, played by Branko Juric, and a Serb, played by Rene Vidaragic, are trapped.
Vi ste počeli rat.
Katrin Cartledge is the war correspondent who latches onto the situation as a human interest story.
We've been listening to your radio frequency. And since we were in the area, we thought we'd come and verify.
You listen to our radio?
Absolutely. It's the best way to get fresh information. Are you going back? And why do you need a bomb disposal unit?
Coupez la caméra.
Another soldier, played by Philip Savagovich, is lying atop a spring-loaded bomb. If he moves, he dies. The UN arrives on the scene, bringing with them confusion and hesitancy.
You must leave now. The miner wants everybody out. You out. Yes, he out too. Okay, later, when we finish, okay? Understand?
Written and directed by Danis Tanovich, No Man's Land also features strong performances from Simon Callow as an uncaring superior officer and Georges Siatidis as the French officer who wants to break the life-or-death logjam in that trench. But the most powerful acting comes from Savagovich as that soldier who lies immobile on the bomb, knowing he has zero chance of survival. There's no way to defuse that bomb without moving him, and no way to move him without setting off the bomb. No Man's Land was made for a fraction of the cost of Behind Enemy Lines, but it's an infinitely more effective examination of the madness of war.
Yes, it is. And just talk about the fact of that landmine that the guy is laying on. In Behind Enemy Lines, which we reviewed last week, there was a man who finds himself standing on a landmine. And so how do they handle it? They handle it with an off-screen explosion.
Yeah.
Kaboom! And that's it. And then the movie goes on.
And then they have another explosion.
This movie is about the real people and the real issues, and that guy is really on that landmine, and something's going to happen, and they all have to deal with it. So it's the difference between the Hollywood movie that just wants to be a shoot-'em-up with the hero being airlifted out by helicopter, and a movie that really deals with the insanity of a situation like that.
And the very human folly of these people. You know, the soldiers, they're not all these fighting machines, good guys, bad guys, as they were in Behind Enemy Lines. These guys are swarthy, these guys are blonde. I mean, you know, one guy's got the upper hand, then the other guy's got the upper hand. Then they're arguing among each other. And then the UN arrives, and they don't know what to do. I mean, it's got that chaos that real war is all about.
It's kind of got the Kafka-esque thing going on, where nothing makes any sense. When we come back, my favorite holiday DVD collection is in the video spotlight. A newspaper recently asked me to name my hero, and redefining that as my hero from the world of the cinema, I named Buster Keaton. At the dawn of the movies, he was a pure genius, the equal of Chaplin, or some would argue, maybe just a little better than Chaplin. Here he is at the dawn of time in The Ages of Man. And as a projectionist who literally enters the movies in Sherlock Jr. And in the short subject 1 week, about honeymooners trying to build a prefabricated love nest. For years, Keaton films were hard to find, but now there's a magnificent new box set of 11 DVDs with high-quality versions of the Keaton features and short subjects, plus a lot of rare guest appearances and TV shows. The Art of Buster Keaton is in my video spotlight this week, and I can't think of a better holiday gift for a film lover.
Okay, when we come back, my parting shot.
Join Roger and Richard for the second annual Ebert and Roeper Film Festival at Sea. Set sail to the Bahamas, February 28th through March 3rd, 2002, aboard the Disney Wonder, with a stop at Disney's own private island paradise, Castaway Cay. Call your travel agent or 1-800-945-3806.
Two movies in theaters now, In the Bedroom and Fat Girl, contain shocking twists, as does another upcoming film. Read too many reviews and the surprises won't be surprises at all. I can't believe how many print critics have revealed the stunner from In the Bedroom. Now, on this show, I think we're careful to avoid such specifics, but I've still heard from some viewers who are getting angry if we mention even the existence of these plot developments. Now, I understand the point. For example, if you didn't know the surprise ending to The Sixth Sense, wouldn't it have even been better not to know there was a twist at all? Still, it's impossible to show a bounty of clips and talk about a film at some length without digging into the story. But no matter what, we'll never give away more than you get from the average movie trailer, and that's my parting shot.
Of course, some trailers give away everything.
Yeah.
Okay, recapping this week's really good selection of holiday releases. 2 thumbs up for Ocean's 11. 2 thumbs up for Lantana. It opens in major markets next week. 2 more thumbs up for The Business of Strangers. 2 thumbs up for The Royal Tenenbaums. It opens in New York and Los Angeles next week. And finally, 2 more thumbs up for No Man's Land.
Remember to check out our website, ebertandroper.tv, and you can read us in print at suntimes.com. Next week, we'll be back with Meg Ryan and Hugh Jackman in the time travel love story, Kate and Leopold. And until then, the balcony is closed.
So what 10 thumbs up says to me is it's Christmas time and all the studios are opening their Oscar hopefuls.
The batting average is always going to be higher in November and December on this show because the better movies are out there, and it makes our job a lot more pleasurable when these movies come through.
These babies were conceived using the Clear Plan Easy fertility monitor. It identifies more fertile days each cycle than any leading method. Clear Plan, clear results.
CD players really eat your batteries and your money, so feed yours Rayovac Maximum. They have long-lasting alkaline power for less. Rayovac.
Facts of Life by Lysol. Fact, it's cough and cold season. Fact, Lysol spray helps stop the spread of the cold virus. Life demands Lysol. That's a fact.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is brought to you by...
Hey, looking great. The Conair Rechargeable Beard and Mustache Trimmer. Moves in close, trims any style with laser precision. Looking great. The Conair Beard and Mustache Trimmer.